Good afternoon. Welcome to the Castanet studios. I'm Wayne Moore, along with Kelowna Mayor-elect Colin Basran. Colin, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Does the name Mayor-elect, has that sunk in yet?
Not really, actually. And I've even had people call me and leave me phone messages, and one of the first things they're telling me to do is, you have to change your phone message. It still says City Councillor. But there will be time to change that in due course. But yeah, my feet haven't touched the ground in about 2 days.
You're waiting for your first good night's sleep?
Yeah, pretty much. It's been just a whirlwind weekend, but really it's been a crazy 3 months. You know, we've just been go, go, go. And, you know, really proud of the campaign we ran. But yeah, I look forward to, and you know what, I slept pretty well last night. And hopefully I'll sleep again tonight, although I am planning to play hockey tonight for the first time in months, because I've sort of put all of my social activities on hold for the last little while. So it'll be nice to, in a sense, get back to a little bit of normalcy and do the things that I would typically be doing had I not been out campaigning. And so one of those things is getting some exercise for myself. So I look forward to doing that. And you know, I'm sure my hockey buddies aren't looking forward to having me back, but I look forward to being back and just getting you know, into a regular routine now and settling in. You
realize a mayor is not allowed to take a penalty. No slashing, no hooking, no holding.
Fair enough. No, I will definitely behave myself. Absolutely.
A 6,000 plus vote margin. Yes. Are you surprised?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, obviously running for mayor for the first time, not really knowing what to expect. So, you know, was I optimistic that, you know, hopefully, fortunately, would I win the seat? Absolutely. But by that margin, no. We had no idea that that was going to be the margin of victory. And, you know, but pleasantly surprised. And I think it just speaks to the campaign we ran. You know, I'm really proud of the campaign that my teammates and I ran. And they're really, you know, we had the conversations leading up, you know, into the week, you know, just talking about different scenarios. And, you know, had the scenario been that I wasn't elected, we had decided and discussed that we ran the best campaign we possibly could. And if it wasn't in our favor, we would have been disappointed, don't get me wrong, but that we had done everything we possibly could, that we would have had no regrets. We really, yeah, there wasn't anything we would have done differently.
6 months ago when you announced, many believed Colin Basran was mayor material, but maybe 4 years from now, sure, not now, that maybe this was a little early, that had you lost, it could have been political suicide.
Right.
Did that ever creep into your mind?
No. It didn't. I'm one of those people who truly believes that life is too short. And I love my city. I loved being a city councillor. So why not make a run for mayor, in the sense that I had discussed it with, you know, council members. You know, firstly, Walter Gray, to see what his intentions were. I had no intention of running against him if he was going to stay on. I also talked to Councillor Andre Blondet to see what his intentions were. I talked to a number of other councillors. So this isn't one, you know, something I did without any consultation. I spoke to, in particular, my council colleagues, and because I didn't want to step on any toes, that, you know, and so that was part of it. And sure, it was a risk, and, you know, obviously it's paid off. But you know what? Like I say, life's too short. I love the direction our city's heading, and I love serving our city. And so I figured, why not? And now look at, you know, here we are.
You turned 37, I believe, Friday?
I did, the day before the election.
Belated birthday present.
Thank you.
The youngest mayor ever in Kelowna.
This is what I'm told.
So talk about that.
Sure. Well, again, it's something I'm really proud of. And I think it speaks to the fact that our residents are ready to embrace the next generation of leadership for our community. And we're seeing now with, you know, the retirement of Robert Hobson, Councillor Andre Blondet, Councillor Jerry Zimmerman, and of course Mayor Gray. And those positions on council have been filled with newcomers to council, as well as somebody who's been there in the past. And so I think it just shows that Kelowna residents were ready for a change and for the next generation to take the torch from those like Blondet and Hobson and Gray, who have led before us. And now it's our turn to blaze the trail.
Talk to your leadership style. Not only are you the youngest mayor ever, but you are also the youngest person on this council.
Correct.
So talk about your leadership style when you look at 8 other people that are older than you.
Sure. So, well, I guess I could answer that in this particular way, in that, so for example, my goal in the next week is to meet with all of my fellow councillors and to find out what it is we have in terms of common ground. And then using that common ground as the launching point for our vision for the next 4 years. And so a lot of it is relationship building and finding out what the common ground is amongst all of us. And you know what? I think part of it also is, and this is one of the things I was most proud of the campaign, is that more experienced members of this current council, because of course our new one is sworn in on December 1st, right. So I still consider myself a councillor, because technically I am for the next 2 weeks, but learning and growing into the role of mayor-elect, and you know, I will have a lot to learn. And that's another thing too, is I have never come into this believing I have all the answers, because I don't. But to get back to your question, it comes teamwork. It's all about teamwork. Right. And the fact that I have won over the confidence of more experienced councillors, I think speaks to my style of leadership, in that there's a respect, a mutual respect. And I think that plays a big part of it, is I'm not coming in here to be bold and brash and say I have the answers. It's working with my council colleagues and working on that mutual respect and that common ground that we all have.
Walter was with you Saturday night. You also had lunch with him today. What's the one piece of advice that he's given you so far that you've taken to heart, and yep, that's number one?
Oh, well, you know what? We actually really haven't had that conversation yet. We've been talking a lot more about procedural things and just sort of things to expect over the next, especially the next couple of days and the week. But more than anything, it's just to be yourself. That, you know, and to not be so serious. I have to admit that over the course of the campaign, you know, I've even had family members and close friends say, would you lighten up? You've been too serious. And I think part of that is just because I've been hammered over the head so many times with the you're too young, you're inexperienced, that I think I was trying to overcompensate by being serious, and that how somehow would project an image of, you know, being older. But you know what? Everybody has just said, including Walter, be yourself. That's why you are where you are, and just stay true to yourself and make the decisions that you think are best for the community. And so that's something I'm taking to heart, is it doesn't matter how serious I have to pretend to be on camera, or you know what, it's be myself, because that's what's helped get me here.
You talked about just a few moments ago about relationship building and also the vision for the future. You've got the community in the palm of your hands for the next 4 years. What's your vision?
Sure. Well, it's certainly not anything I take lightly, I can tell you that. But you know, I talked a lot about it over the course of the campaign, but I think it's seeing our city be open to new opportunities. As you know, the mantra of this previous, or the current council, if you will, has been open for business, but I think it needs to be much larger than that, in not just economic possibilities, but social opportunities. So I think, you know, being open to opportunity, partnerships with higher levels of government, but the base of a strong community is a strong economy. Right. And in order to do that, there are a number of things that we need to do in terms of affordable and attainable housing, a vibrant arts and cultural community, but it also means looking after our most vulnerable. So, you know, Kelowna is not perfect by any means. We have a lot of work to do, but it's certainly building upon the momentum of this current council. And
you talk about affordable housing. A report came out today. I don't know if you've seen it or not, and I don't remember the exact numbers. But as far as affordability is concerned, many people in this community that are renting are paying more than 30%, more than 50% of their before-tax wage on their rent and utilities. Yeah. You're in the real estate industry. You know what those percentages mean. Yeah. How do we bring that number down?
Sure. Well, again, this speaks to sort of the vision for the next 4 years, but I think it starts with, you know, city policies, and I know that we have staff working on incentives potentially for, if we're going to talk about market housing, to be able to offer incentives to developers, to be able to keep the price down, because as I've mentioned in my campaign numerous times, I would like to see us densify our town centers. Well, our town centers and our city core, that's where the land's most expensive. And there's a reason why we continue to see suburban neighborhoods develop, is because that's typically where the less expensive land is for somebody to develop. So if we're going to encourage developers to develop in our town centers and in our urban core where the land's more expensive, we have to find a way for us to lessen the cost that's passed on to the potential buyer. So that's just one way. I know that this council in particular particular, and something I'd like to build upon, is more rental-only projects. This current council approved the first purpose-built rental project we've seen in our city in 10 years. But as you know, we have Central Green just sold to Al Stober, and I know his intention is to build a lot of the site up with rental-only projects. And I know that in one of our final council meetings, we passed rental housing grants to 2 developers who plan on building 76 purpose-built rental units this coming year, 2015. So there are things we can do, but like I say, there's more work to be done, absolutely.
And stimulate jobs is the other flip side of that, of course.
Absolutely. And so where I see that happening is, again, with partnerships with UBCO, Okanagan College, industry here in our community, and I think we as a city play a role in that as well, in terms of making sure that Kelowna is a great place for entrepreneurs, because I truly believe, and as you know, the large majority of people who work in our city are either self-employed or work for a small business. So we have to make sure that Kelowna is a great place for entrepreneurs. As you know, the city has won the Open for Business Award from the provincial government 2 years in a row, and has also been ranked one of the top cities in Canada by the Canadian Federation of Independent Business as one of the top cities for entrepreneurs in all of Canada. But again, there's still work to be done, but we need to be a friendly place for entrepreneurs, because they are the ones who are going to be creating the jobs of the future in our city.
You heard a lot during the campaign about taxes.
Yeah.
You heard a lot during the campaign about waste in City Hall,
yes,
about management, etc. Would you be in favor of a core review of some sort at City Hall to look at wages, to look at spending, and to see how possible that can be reined in?
Well, we do some of those already. So I think it's a matter of continuing some of those practices. And again, I personally don't believe that the fat that some people had projected is at City Hall is there. Now, can we always run things more effectively and efficiently? Absolutely. But I think given the fact that when you look at the 17 largest municipalities in British Columbia, we have the 4th lowest property tax rate and the lowest business tax rate, to me doesn't say that there is this waste there. And I truly believe that that was just an election tactic, if you will, by particular people running in the election. But it's been my experience of the last 3 years that I truly believe we are blessed with some of the best staff in all of British Columbia at what they do. And I'm really proud of the people at City Hall and the great relationship that council has with those staff members.
I have to ask you this. I don't want to put the cart before the horse. You're 37.
Yeah.
You haven't even sat in the mayor's chair yet. Is this step one towards something bigger and brighter in Colin Basran's political future?
Not that I'm planning. I'm looking forward to these next 4 years, and we'll see where things go from there. But I am absolutely 100% committed to my family and Kelowna, and that's all I'm thinking about.
So in 12 years, Premier Colin Basran isn't in the equation?
That's not even something I'm even thinking about. You know what? To be perfectly honest, all I have on my mind right now is my inauguration speech on December 1st.
And you're working on that now?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Congratulations, Mayor-elect Colin Basran.
Thank you very much.